sides to every single story, the passion and the glory, just trying to make it through the day. You know we're trying to come together, arm in arm and hand in hand, and with my brother I will fight to unify our land. America, home of the brave, we stand strong when we're willing to change. And I will wash the feet of freedom and bow down on my knees, praying for a healing, fighting for the freedom of my brother and me. And on the other hand, there are those who would undo us, unruly who would rule us and break us all apart. And I will stand beside you and fight against injustice and lawless ones among us. Come on, let freedom ring. America, home of the brave, we stand strong when we're willing to change. And I will wash the feet of freedom and bow down on my knees, praying for a healing, fighting for the freedom of my brother and me. Pluribus unum, get your guitars and tune them. Melody and harmony, let's make a little revelry. Pluribus unum, get your guitars and tune them. Melody and harmony, let's make a little revelry. Pluribus unum, get your guitars and tune them. Melody and harmony, let's make a little revelry. Play that guitar. My brother and me, fighting for the freedom of my brother and me. America.
Hi, my name is John Maxwell, and I am with my friend John Morgan. And I have on 2 different occasions watched him do the George Bush impersonation. He's better than George W. himself. Funny, I enjoy him, and you will also. What I love about him is great values, great giftedness, and he will come into your life, into the life of your group, and give you humor and give you food for thought that will truly make a difference in your life.
This is what I'm talking about. Well, I'm the free world leader. Freedom's rolling out to you. Oh, let's roll. Well, I'm the good news instigator, compassionate conversator. This freedom is rocking and rolling on out to you. White and blue. Hey, I found a new button.
Morgan Show. I'm your host. Oh my goodness. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. That is so kind of you. So I've got that thing plugged in. So until I change it, it's going to do that at the start of every show, which is just fine with me. I suppose it's nice to hear a little bit of applause once in a while, even if you manufactured it yourself. Listen, I know of certain other people that do a lot to get applause, okay? They do a lot to hear the adulation and the praise of their people. Not that it isn't well deserved, but you know, Trump, Uncle Trump, Uncle Donald, he is a unique character on the American scene. But I think it requires him to be who he is in order to accomplish so much. And of course, as some of the prophets are saying, such as my friend Lance Wallnau, he is a type of the Old Testament King Cyclops, probably because he has single-eyed vision on 2020. That's right. He knows exactly where he's going, and he knows how to get there. The rest of us are just scratching our heads, picking out lice, and saying, "What was that?" When we think about the debate. I don't know about you. I wanted to walk home. I didn't even want to go in my car. I wanted to just hang my head and say, everybody that says he's a bully is right. He's a bully. He's a bully. But you know what? I realized what he really is a chess player. He needed to accomplish certain things. He needed to establish certain facts. And he had to kind of play hardball in order to get it out there, to get it done. He needed to have Joe talk about his stance on certain things and establish where he is, and that separates him from his base. So it was very strategic on the president's part. What happened is I watched a speech that he did in Minnesota shortly after the debate, and he kind of explained what he was up to and what his strategy was. Hi, Diane. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you so much for being here. I'm trying to figure out how I can get back to the... Oh, I've got myself lost in... Oh, my goodness. Wait a minute. Is the vice presidential debate happening right now? Oh, Vice President Pence participates in Faith in Leadership event in Des Moines, Iowa. Okay, that's what that is. That popped up in my Facebook feed, and I thought, wait a minute, are we missing the vice? What? No, but we're not. It's all good. So here we are. I mean, every day we are watching history unfold. It's just amazing. We are living in such consequential days. On the one hand, we have the president's Supreme Court nominee, Amy Coney Barrett, beginning her interview process with the Senate, and then on the other side, we have James Comey being interviewed by the Senate for his involvement in the Russiagate scandal, and that's pretty crazy. I mean, they spent the liberals in Congress spent, what was it, $42 million? I forget how much it was, $25 million to investigate the president. They did something like 500. I don't remember the numbers. I'm not a number remembering guy, and I don't have it all right in front of me. But it was some outrageous number of subpoenas, like 5,000 subpoenas. And I think it was 5,000, because if it was 500, that would be a lot, but it wouldn't be outrageous because it was over several years. And they were trying to establish. They didn't start with a suspicion. That's the thing about it. It was a witch hunt. They went after the president. And I'm sorry for those of you that don't believe that. You think that that's not true, but it is true, because they found nothing there. They found nothing there. So anything they said they had, they didn't have because there was nothing produced. The only thing that they did was they wound up impeaching President Trump on a conversation that he had with somebody over in the Ukraine. I mean, it was a conversation having to do with the investigation, and he was saying, listen, I'm hoping that you guys will cooperate with us as we try to get to the bottom of all of these things. What else would you expect a president to say? And yet they said that that was obstruction of justice and impeached him for it. Okay. But he was exonerated, so it's all good. It worked out fine. The Senate saw right through it and exonerated him. But that doesn't mean he's not a bully. I mean, the President Trump definitely has his character issues that some would call flaws and some would call benefits. Some would call his attributes. And I read an article today that my son sent me from a guy, David, I forget his last name, that was talking about how Trump is spawning a generation of bullies. And to be honest with you, I don't want to have a generation of bullies, but neither do I want a generation of weak appeasers as our leaders. We need people with a spine who are willing to stand up for their values and stand up hard and stand up strong and not allow their voices to be silenced. You know, I know for myself, okay, I am a people pleaser. I confess that to you. I am not a strongly opinionated person. I am a person who spends way too much time worrying about what others think. It used to be way, way worse. It used to be so bad that I would not even express an opinion. And that was one of my huge fears. It was based in the fear of rejection. And I remember back in my teen years, in my early 20s, I would hardly ever express an opinion on stuff. I'd stand around and listen to both sides, and I'd say, oh, I can see that. Not listen to this side. Oh, well, I can see that. But I have become a passionate lover of Diane, I love Trump's hard line. Better than being railroaded, yes, and better than being an appeaser, okay? The Republican Party has for years been either they've been bought or they've been too desirous of getting along, like me. And that's why I would not I would not run for political office because I would try too hard to get along and end up compromising my values. And I don't ever want to be put in that position. I don't ever want to put you in that position, anybody that I am responsible to lead. So here in our own little beautiful microcosm, we can talk about the things that are precious to us. And if we have opposition, we can talk about that, talk to, whatever. We value life. We definitely value the scriptures. We value freedom of speech, freedom to express your opinion. We don't want to be shut down. We don't want people to tell us that we can't say the things that we love. And, something that I heard President Trump say in that speech in Minnesota, I don't recall what town he was in, but it was so cool. He flew Air Force One. It was at an airport, and I mean, he had Air Force One as his backdrop. It was just the coolest, most patriotic thing ever, and it was really cold. But he talked about an initiative. I think he said it was the 1776 initiative, and that we are going to spend far more energy and effort in his second term making sure that our children are taught the great history of America. They are going to be taught to treasure this country, to treasure our heritage, and to treasure what has been done to win the freedoms that we all enjoy, including freedom from tyranny, freedom from racism, freedom from slavery. Yes, those freedoms exist. We are doing a progressively better and better job at enforcing those freedoms, and we need to, and that's a good thing. But we also need to not denigrate law and order in this country. We definitely need to, we need to make sure that law and order is kept in a manner that is in keeping with our laws. But we need to lift up, support, and encourage those who serve, those who put their lives in harm's way, and in many cases pay the ultimate price at the hands of some thug or some bad guy out there. Okay, and it happens far too often, and it's encouraged by people who are constantly denigrating, constantly tearing down, constantly painting law enforcement with a big evil paintbrush. That's not right. That's not as it should be. And something I appreciate Vice President Biden saying during the debate is that far and away the majority of law enforcement officers are decent, good, law-abiding of themselves, great American citizens. I appreciate the fact that he said that. And who could disagree that we need to police the police, and the bad apples need to be weeded out? And there's, lots of movies about that where, policemen turn bad, and hey, it happens. And that the thing that we have in this country is law and order within our law enforcement communities. They have the internal whatever, I forget what they call them, but they police themselves, and that's good, and they need to do a better job at that. And sometimes I've seen movies where, there's a lot of bad guys within the force, and they kind of watch each other's back, and it becomes kind of a good old boys network. And when that happens, that needs to be addressed big time, and those folks need to be come down on hard. And that is so far the exception rather than the rule. And the rule is police are important. Law enforcement is so vital. And America is a great place that values freedom. The majority of Americans are citizen-loving people. I just love the phrase. I've fallen in love with it. E pluribus unum. Hey, Karen. I'm so sorry. I'm just now looking over to see some of the folks that are on with me today here. Appreciate you, Diane Richmond. Yes, thank you for your comment about Trump's hard line. Absolutely. You gotta be tough with bad guys, okay? And and there is an evil agenda. There is Vice President Biden is probably a great centrist politician, but there is also a group of people on the far extreme left that are socialist, and frankly, they want to I don't know what America would look like if they got their way. They would get rid of airplanes. They would get rid of cow farts. They would actually kill all the cows because they fart, or something like that. I don't know. I haven't read it. I plead ignorance. I only know what I've heard. So I don't quote me on anything I'm saying, but the Green New Deal is no deal at all. It would slow down the world so much. Sure, the trees might thrive, but then there'd be no progress at all. It's just not a good deal. And it's so funny because I remember during the debate, it seemed as though Joe Biden was explaining aspects of the Green New Deal, and then either Trump or Wallace, I forget which one of them, looked at him and said, "Wait, are you saying you support it?" And he goes, "No, I don't support it." Okay, well, it looked like you were articulating it there for a minute. Anyway, so we continue to learn more and more from the fallout of the fiasco. And I encourage everyone to go back and watch the debate, or even read a transcript. That would even be better. And watch and see the strategy, because President Trump didn't come in like a bull in a china shop without having thought through that he was doing that for a reason. Okay, so go back and watch it and see what all he accomplished. And from what I understand, Hispanic, there was a poll done by Telemundo, and 66%, or some in the 60s percent, thought that President Trump won that poll, won the debate. And a bunch of other polls are saying that too. And the CNN poll says that Joe Biden won it. No surprise there. So whatever, it's fun. But guess what today is? It's almost the weekend, and it's going to be great. We've got fall weather. I mean, of course, in Florida, fall can come and go in 24 hours time. It can be right back to a hot, muggy day in the 90s. But usually this time of year, it drops down into the 80s with dips into the 70s and occasionally into the 60s. And then as we get closer and closer to winter, of course, that temperature drops. But tomorrow, I am going to be jetting out of here. I have a gig out west, and so I will be doing my show tomorrow from parts unknown. I'll actually be in Utah, and I don't know exactly where I'll be at 5 o'clock, but I have to be thinking about the time change because it'll be earlier there when it's 5 o'clock here. But I'll find me some Wi-Fi, a Starbucks. Maybe I'll be next to a cool mountain stream, and we'll gather together. It'll be a lot of fun. And then I'm performing at a comedy club tomorrow night, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to be with those wonderful Utahians. As I was preparing my comedic remarks, I was thinking about Melania Trump, and I thought, Melania, that would actually be a very cool name for a country. You know, the libs out in California are threatening to secede from the Union, some of them, if President Trump gets reelected, and they're going to call it Cascadia. Cascadia. That's got a nice kind of a mountain range, kind of a waterfall-y feel to it, Cascadia. But I think we need to name a country Melania. And then everybody that lives there would be Melanians. That's nuts. All right, Dee, what are you saying here? I've got to make it big so I can see it. If we can see past the chaos on the debate and realize that the same dogmatism, see, I have other stuff on my screen that gets in my way, that our president displayed and made the evening seem weird. Oops, let me bring it back up. The same character trait that is making him awesome strides against the oppression for the good of our country. Exactly. So, no, it's not important for us to be exactly like President Trump. I don't want to be a bully, but I do want to gain some of his attributes, and that's the ability to stand strong against criticism, the ability to believe what you believe and hang on to it in the face of opposition. And that's an excellent attribute and something that we as Republicans could sure learn from. We as Americans, all Americans, could sure learn from, as we all Americans stand up against the increep of communism and socialism. We do have some socialistic programs in our, Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid. Some of these are socialistic style programs that we have adopted that are actually working well in our society. But to have a complete government takeover of all things, where there's no longer any private property, where the government owns everything, including us, where churches can't meet and worship. Yeah, no, we don't want to become North Korea. We don't want to become communist China. We definitely do not want to have socialism as a government style. We don't want to get rid of our capitalistic society, not by a long shot. So, anyway, whoever thought it would come to this? Whoever thought that would be an election that is, in many ways, a referendum between capitalism and socialism? And I'm not saying that Joe is not a socialist. Definitely not. Obama wasn't a socialist, but he hated capitalism. I think he hated colonialism. I don't know. He enacted so many regulations to make government so intrusive and to make business come to a creepy, slow, little creepy movie thing. And a lot of companies went overseas, you know? And what was with well, anyway, this isn't a show about politics. What am I doing? This is a show about the goodness. I feel much better even just thinking about it. The goodness of the Lord, the goodness of God, and the goodness of his people. So I've been chitting and chatting for 20 minutes. What's going on in y'all's world? What's happening, everybody? Latinos understand socialism. Oh, that's why they fled to come here. Good point, Diane. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And Kathy and I, when we went to the watch party, the debate watch party the other night, it was held at the Asians for Trump headquarters. Isn't that fun? There's an Asians for Trump, huge statewide organization, and I imagine there's one in every country, in every state, excuse me. But it's so fun to see how many people from different nationalities and different minorities are enthusiastically supporting this president. Because you're right, exactly, Diane. They value freedom and they don't want the socialistic creep. And I'm not calling anybody a socialistic creep. I'm saying the creeping increase of socialism in our government. So anyway, yes, I hope everybody has wonderful plans for the weekend. I've got insanely excellent plans for the next hour or so because my beautiful bride, Kathy, in the other room, is preparing my absolute favorite dish. And no, I'm not talking about herself. She's making spaghetti. And that is my absolute, ever since I was a little kid. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, spaghetti. Kathy's homemade spaghetti. I know I'm making you guys hungry just thinking about it. D, you guys, we need to have you over for a party. Those of you that live in Orlando, we need to have you over for supper. Definitely. Let's do that. Let's plan on that in the very, very near future. We'll have a little get together. That'd be fun. Maybe for the get together for the vote of the Supreme Court for the approval of Amy. That would be fun. All right. Well, I think I'm done. I think I'm about. My head is empty. So I appreciate you guys. Have an awesome, excellent day. We'll see you tomorrow. I will be in Utah. I love saying that. Utah. It's like you all with a T. Be blessed. Be filled. Have fun. Sayonara.
Hey, this is Al Robertson from Duck Dynasty and Duck Commander. I want to tell you about a great book called War on Fear from my good buddy, John Morgan. Of course, he looks like George W. Bush, who had the famous War on Terror, so I immediately knew, there was a nice a bit of wordplay there. This book is fantastic. I think it speaks to sort of that natural fear that all of us have, whether it's public speaking or whether it's the first time you get asked to do something you've never done before, up to, the fear of loss of life, of a sick person in your family, all the things that we face every single day. I recommend this highly. I promise you will be blessed when you read this book, and it's the sort of book that after you read it, you're going to want to pass it on to someone else, which to me are the best kind of books. So War on Fear, get yours as soon as you can.
Thank you, Dee. Hello, Chris. How are you? Appreciate you guys.
Well, I'm the free world leader. Freedom's rolling out to you. Oh, let's roll. Well, I'm the good news instigator, compassionate conversator. This freedom is rocking and rolling on out to you. White and blue.
Thanks again, everybody, for tuning into the John Morgan Show. Please do me a favor and hit that like button and share alike. That's how we grow, folks. Oh, yeah. Try my button again. Sit right here. That's so fun. I can make it so fun. All right. All right. God bless everybody. Hey, Melania, there you are. Feels like a good time for the red, white, and blue. Bye, everybody. God bless you.